Hello, my name is Tiffany Perkins. Come on in. I'm a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade collaborative teacher at Heinemann Elementary in Knott County, and I've brought some of my students with me today. I'm going to guess that I'm not the only teacher that has students that could use some independence in their lives. And so I came up with the idea of using the Rocketbook. Rocketbook is a smart notebook, and they can keep their notes in it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how they use that. What button do I push? I've not used one of these before. There? Okay, all right. So as I said, my problem of practice was that they're not really organized. They lose their stuff. They need to be a little more independent. A lot of times I would help them in class with their work, and then when it came time to turn in their work, they didn't have it. Something had happened to it. It had vanished in the mysterious hole. And so they failed either the grade and sometimes even the class, and me knowing that they had done the work. So this is my 19th year of teaching, and I've seen this happen year over year over year with my kids. And when I finally saw these Rocketbooks, I thought this could be the solution. My plan is to get them organized and only have one notebook for all their classes. In this one notebook, they take it to every class. In that class, they write their notes, their assignments, their tests, and then with that notebook, they can then take it to an iPad, and they can scan all of those pages that then goes to my Google Drive. And in my Google Drive, I've got all of a folder for each of my students, and all of their work is there. And something I did not expect when I made this plan is that I can share that Google Drive with their teachers. Originally, my plan was for them to come print out their pages, but then we realized I could share that with their teachers, and now their teachers can just get into that Google Drive and see their work. So there's no need to even print. There were some rules that were necessary. I was afraid they would take them home and lose them. You know, we are working on organization and independence, so I wanted to make sure these were kept in my room. So they have to come get them at the beginning of every day, and they have to bring them back to me at the end of every day. I have made some cues to remind them to do that. If they do not follow these rules, then they will be suspended temporarily from the use of their Rocketbook. They're not to share it with any others. Some of the other kids in their classrooms think these are pretty cool and want to use them, but I have told my kids this is just for your use. We had to attach a pen. Each Rocket notebook comes with a pen, and I had to buy these little things to keep them on there, and that's another rule, is that they can only use these pens with their Rocketbooks. So I kept track of how this was going. In the beginning of the year, you can see there's very few ones. This means that my students losing assignments in the beginning. The ones indicate students that were turning in assignments. The blank spaces indicate they had not turned in assignments. And you can see as we go further along the year that they were turning in more and more assignments. Most of them were not getting lost. And then there's even further into the year. So we had very few lost assignments, and I think those were just failure to remember to write them in the notebook. Some problems that I encountered was making sure it's streamlined and as efficient as possible, not just for the students, but for the teachers too. I had not actually thought of my collaborative teachers in that process until we got started, and I was thinking, okay, I need to make sure that's a little more efficient. And also my students, they kind of had a little transition period where they were having a hard time getting used to having just one notebook for everything. They are so used to having a different notebook for every class that they felt like they needed that. And so it took a little transition to get them used to that. Here's some pictures of them with their notebooks. Now my next step is these students my other project that I have, they are training future students that I will have. These notebooks will stay with me and be used with all of my future students. And so I'll be able to use these year after year. And I'd like to let my students share with you what their favorite part about the Rocketbook is.
My favorite part about the Rocketbook is it helps me keep up with my notes, and I share the notes with my teachers.
If you lost your notebook, you can use it for your backup.
My favorite thing about the Rocket Notebook is that you can reuse it.
My favorite thing about the Rocket Notebook is it helps me keep up with my work.
My favorite thing about the Rocket Notebook is I like having one notebook for all my classes.
Are there any questions? Yes?
How easy was it for you to go back and get their past notes? They were saved in Google.
I keep access to all that, yeah. Yep. And like I said, I've shared it with all of my teachers, so they know to just go in there, and there's no need for them to come to me and get them. I had first expected that, but it ended up working itself out. Yes? There is a Rocketbook app, and so when they're ready to scan their pages, they just hold the iPad over their page, and it scans it, and there's a button they push, and it automatically sends it to my Google Drive. And you can use any drive. I chose Google because we use Google at my school. Rocketbook. Oh, per notebook of this size was about $30. Now, they make different sizes. The smaller ones, of course, are less expensive. Once they write in them and they fill the whole notebook up, then there's a cloth, a certain kind of cloth that comes with them. You just barely get it wet and wipe over the page, and it's ready to use again. Yes? And it looks exactly like that on the document? Yes. Yep. There is a little thing at the bottom that they have to mark down here at the bottom. You choose which emblem you want them to sign, and that tells it which folder to go to. Mm-hmm. No, I don't want them to take them home. Being the organization is our issue, I want them kept at school. In your room? In my room, yes. Yep. Things get lost throughout the school, so I want them in my room. Any other questions? Thank you.